Hey guys, it's Amanda. So I've been watching more sports on the channel recently, football, basketball, rugby, and I've been enjoying it. And if you've been following, you'll know I'm a fan of the NFL, and I've actually seen a game played at Wembley in London, which was really great fun. But something I've always wondered is why it isn't more popular in Europe. I mean, there is obviously some interest because NFL teams come to London to play every year, or I don't know if it's every year, but they do come here. But is it because the sport is boring? Is it the name because it's called football? Is it because it's played by Americans?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But maybe today's video, why American football failed in Europe, will answer a few questions, shed some light on it.
The NFL is the richest sports league in the world. They make more money than the NBA, NHL and the Premier League combined, but they still can't get enough. So they are trying to enter new markets. And with such deep marketing pockets, it is no wonder they are able to sell out a stadium abroad. In November 2022, 70,000 fans celebrated the NFL game in Munich.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just London.
Country Roads went viral because it showcased the successful melting of two very passionate fan cultures. Even Tom Brady said it was one of his greatest football moments ever, and the guy has won pretty much everything there is to win in his sport. But as successful as all of this sounds, there is another, slightly weird part to the story. One about a bizarre league that involves Donald Trump, an elephant, and how they accidentally helped association football. Welcome to Athletic Interest and how the NFL failed in Europe. American football has one big problem. There is a 7-month break between the Super Bowl and the beginning of the next season. It's the biggest gap without any matches in all of the US sports. So the NFL and TV broadcasters saw an opportunity to host more games in the spring. In the late 80s, they agreed on expanding to Europe. By bringing their product to a new market, the NFL hoped for a lot of new fans and cash. It was a very lucrative time to enter the market. European football was nowhere near as big as it is today, and a huge market was up for grabs. They were also hoping to create a farm league to develop talents. But the project got off to a rough start. It was even difficult to find a name, and the NFL can blame Donald Trump. He had acquired rights to the name International Football League, the preferred choice of the NFL. Trump was not willing to sell, so the NFL went for the World League of American Football. In 1991,
I had no idea that Trump had anything to do with the NFL.
the league started to tackle Europe, funded by the NFL franchises, which invested $50,000 each to get the World League running. TV broadcasters paid more than $25 million for the first season, and probably none of them ever saw their money again. Although the World League had a promising start. An average of 25,000 people attended the first games, but the hype didn't last long. The TV ratings were miserable, the league made a huge loss, and after the second season, the NFL decided to close it. But giving up was not an option. After 2 years of brainstorming and rebranding, the World League came back, with a narrower focus on Europe. The NFL then tried some really weird things to gain traction. For example, they decided to let an elephant, an animal neither native in the US nor in Europe, present the league's trophy. Tailgate parties attracted more people than the actual games, and the cheerleaders were bigger stars than the players. Rebranding the league.
I mean, to be fair, the tailgating and the cheerleaders bring in loads of people in the States as well. It's a fun part of the game, you know?
Again, first as NFL Europe League, later as NFL Europa, didn't do much besides proving the lack of vision by the NFL. The project was burning $30 million.
Oh, sorry. I probably should mention as well, just in case people don't know what tailgating is. It's basically, in the States, outside the stadiums, usually in the parking lots, everyone would just pull up with their trucks and put down their tailgates. And they'd have barbecues and they'd have some drinks all before the game. Hence the word tailgate. Yeah, it was just a really good time. It was a lot of fun.
A year, almost $500 million in total. So eventually, the NFL pulled the plug. The two reasons why the league was originally founded backfired in the long run. There are good examples of NFL players who started their careers in Europe before successfully returning to the US and eventually winning the Super Bowl. But overall, it wasn't easy to sell a minor league without the sport's biggest stars. Besides the lack of vision, there was simply a lack of quality. The games were never near the quality of the NFL. And viewers quickly realized that and shifted their focus to watching the real NFL instead of the less exciting European sister league. It's like trying to convince your friend to watch an MLS game instead of El Clásico. But the NFL learned its lesson. Instead of trying to sell a cheap copy, they started selling the real thing. The same year that the NFL Europa folded forever, their big sister NFL started to play regular season matches abroad. First in London, then in Toronto, Mexico City, and in 2022 in Munich. While England, Canada, and Mexico are logical fits in terms of language and geography, Germany is no obvious choice at first sight. It's neither a direct neighbor, nor does it share the language. So why Germany? After the Second World War, Germany was divided into 4 sectors, including one American. In the following years, more than 200 American military bases were established in Germany. The larger bases especially looked like tiny American cities, with American stores, American schools, and American sports, which attracted curious Germans. People would go over to the bases, looking through the
Do you know, it doesn't surprise me that Americans would create a little America right inside Germany. So instead of trying to fit in with the locals, let's bring in all our own stores and our own schools. And we'll just make it like home. However, on the flip side of that, I do appreciate they are military bases. So they are away from home, serving their country. So it is a slightly different scenario to just a tourist. But sure, you'd want to experience what it's like living abroad. I don't know. Or maybe just, I guess, need a little piece of home with you, I suppose.
And the American soldiers would bring them in and teach them how to play football. It was a cultural exchange that paid off. Over 40 years ago, the German Football League was formed as the first of its kind in Europe. When NFL Europa folded in 2007, 5 of the 6 competing teams were based in Germany. All this set the groundwork for the biggest American football spectacle so far on German soil, the NFL's Munich game in 2022. The organizers received 3 million ticket requests, enough to fill the Allianz Arena more than 40 times. A recent study revealed American football as the second most watched sport in Germany, only behind reigning king football. Also thanks to these 3 guys and their TV show. They popularized American football in Germany, providing expert analysis on TV and online, but also by never getting tired of explaining the game to new audiences. It is a great example of what the NFL got wrong in the first place. American football can be very confusing. Sebastian Vollmer won the Super Bowl, but was quoted that even after 2 years of playing the game, he didn't know all the rules. So instead of trying to make the game more interesting with elephants and cheerleaders, it's better to focus on explaining the beauty of it to new viewers. Takes more time, but has a higher reward. The NFL certainly understood that.
To be honest, I'm American, obviously. I'm a fan of the sport, and I still don't know all the rules. So I can see bringing a whole entire sport, a new league, over to Europe. People not understanding the rules, they're not going to want to watch, are they? Because they're just going to be starting to scream, like, what is actually going on? It makes sense that they would explain it before they spend millions of dollars. And then it's just wasted, isn't it? Mental.
And started promoting flag football as an easy and more approachable version for kids and fans to get in touch with the game.
Football.
With the Olympics in LA in 2028 and the NFL pushing hard for flag football to become an Olympic sport, this strategy could turn out to be a masterstroke. The second challenge that the NFL faces in its competition with other sports, a lack of international stars. Just think of what Yao Ming did for the popularity of the NBA in China. But the NFL also has a master plan for that problem. The International Player Pathway Program. The main objective of this program is to increase the pool of talented international players and to ultimately increase the global popularity of American football. It was established in 2017 and has seen success in placing international athletes in NFL practice squads, with several players earning promotions to active rosters. It looks like the NFL has learned its lesson. There are already more games confirmed to take place in Germany, and there is even talk about moving one franchise permanently to London. Arguably a huge market, but also a city with plenty of very established football clubs already, which brings up a major question. In today's globalized world, it might ultimately come to a battle between American and association football for the hearts and cash of the fans. Both would be well advised to pay attention not only to the money, but also to how to sustainably grow the sports entrusted to them. In the end, the fans will make the vote.
American football will never take over football in Europe, in my opinion. I can't imagine it ever happening.
No?
I just think the passion, the love that Europeans have for their sport is far too great to let another sport take over. Now, I know there is a fan base for American football, so the international games will do well, especially in Germany, clearly. I found that video really interesting. I had no idea that so much money was spent trying to market it here for a new league. And it is a shame that didn't take off. But not only is it competing with football, but also rugby, which in some ways is similar. Please don't leave me mean comments for me saying that. But in some ways, it is similar. So I can't see it happening. I don't know. Can you? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button if that's what you're into. And I'll see you in the next video.